Well. Here we are. Uh, JAS number 14. I guess the chat's broken or something's not working there. So you guys can try to say something, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, uh, but I found out from Gorilla there's no Firefly tonight. So I'm just here to shoot the bull, as it were, just for a few minutes and address what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. As you know, we do Star Trek and Star Wars. Um, I was going to try to put a poll here in the thing. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a poll in the community section. So that's what I want to let you folks know. I'm going to put in a poll in the community section there of MikeySuzeFour, so I can let you know what we're going to talk about in the next few weekends. Now, as you know, this weekend on March 15th, we will be covering at 1 p.m. I've already sent copies of Vader Shards of the Past Part 1 from Star Wars Theory, Star Wars Theory's channel, his YouTube channel. So my panelists, hopefully they'll get a chance to see it before Saturday, and then we can review it and talk about it for a little bit. Like I said, that'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, some people that'll appear, probably, hopefully, Sif Dan will appear. Jay Aldridge will be there, I hope. Um, and hopefully, uh, also Charlotte Nightstar, um, Eli, Scott, who are Anchorman, and Blue Blue, and hopefully Palandoy. He'll be new to our chat. Like I said, Sif Dan, Jay Aldridge. I hope Jay Aldridge can make it too. Yeah. So we'll just have a select panel as we've always had, and but I am trying to add to the panel as I go, so that we can get the maximum of 10. But everybody says, make sure you get at least around 8, because if you get 10 people up there, which you can do if you have the next standard level, which we do for StreamYard, it could get a little crazy up there, and people could be talking all at once. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. As you know, tomorrow is normally is Walton's for Gorilla, so hope to be there for that. I wasn't feeling very well earlier today when I did my 18 reviews, so I took a really long nap, and I think I'm okay now a little bit. I do sound like I'm all right, so I should be able. I couldn't make it tonight because I knew for sure I'd probably pass out or do something wrong. So I just decided to wait till the Walton stream tomorrow to work with Gorilla, of course. Then have my stream at 1 o'clock on Saturday. I may not be there for other people's streams. I might try to do Sif Dan's stream if he does his afternoon stream. I might be there for that for just an hour or so. However long he does it. But then after that, I'm just going to probably take the rest of the weekend off. I need to. I just need to relax, chill, because I do have a lot to go on next week. And like I said, we're going to be starting with, brand new reviews of the next series, Get Smart, that we're doing for next Wednesday. So I'm really pumped up for that. I'm trying to get myself ready for that. And yes, I'm from the Psycho Ward from Alcatraz, by the way. So anyway, so Miss Charlotte did present a very interesting question. And this is the thing that people have been debating about for the last few months, whether or not, like, after Daniel Craig finished his tenure as Bond from No Time to Die, people have been continuously, and I've heard this everywhere. Even my friend who I subscribed, Calvin Dyson, by the way, if you haven't had a chance, check out his YouTube channel. He's very thorough in his research, very well informed about the status of what is happening with Bond lately. And I know that Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson are still trying to figure out. Well, first of all, they're trying to figure out who's going to be Bond next. And secondly, they're going to figure out who's going to direct the film, which is going to be very difficult also as a choice to make. And Charlotte, as I said, the wonderful Miss Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf, made an interesting short little video saying about should there be a Jane Bond. And it's been on the table for a very long time. And I would like to make a reaction to that. But I did mention to her there was actually two ladies, Lashana Lynch, of course, being the African American actress who could have stood in for Bond, but she did technically in the film until till James came out of retirement and came back and got his number and everything because of what was going on in the world, which was dire, and the CIA agent, because in the movie, I don't mean to say this, and I hope it's not a spoiler, but in the movie, you know, the actor Jeffrey Wright, who plays Felix Leiter, that he did for most of the films in the Daniel Craig era, he died. So, but before he died, the CIA agent that Bond worked with was played by Anna de Armas, and she did her own stunts and everything, and she does that. Well, now I mentioned that Anna de Armas is in this next film, which is a sub story of the John Wick franchise called Ballerina, which is something that Suzanne and I hope to go see eventually. Um, and because we love John Wick, we own all the John Wick films, all four of those films. Wonderful, awesome. Uh, so if so, Anna's doing this, training in that ballerina thing that you know, not Catherine Zeta-Jones. Who's the other one? Angelica Houston. That's it. So she's coming from the Russian ballet front, with assassins, and the basic plot is she wants to avenge her father's death. And so the guy from the Continental, you know, the actor, pulls her aside, says, "Hey, I got a perfect place for you to train and get ready." So she goes into the Russian ballet front that Angelica Houston runs, and she's in there, and it kind of leads up to eventually a meeting with John Wick, Baba Yaga, from what we've seen from the trailer. So I guess Charlotte said, "Well, why couldn't there just be, why couldn't Anna just do the role?" And I said, you know, it's hard to argue with that. But then I thought about it and I said, "Oh, no, no, no." I said, in ever since Bond has been in place, since 1962's Dr. No, it has always been a male. And it's only been recently, like I said, with No Time to Die, it's only been recent when they even harbored the thought that Lashana Lynch would take over if James, if Daniel Craig, it did in fact end his tenure, which he did. Of course, he gets killed at the end. That's not supposed to happen to James Bond. James Bond does not die at the hands of missiles at the very end. I'm sorry. If that's a major spoiler and you guys have not seen the film, I apologize. So what you could do is just go, speed through this part because I won't talk about it again. So anyway, and I don't know if this video is going to work anyway because it said something went wrong. So we'll see. I just decided to go live, but there's nothing on the side here. There's nothing there except a big purple monkey or a purple chimpanzee. I don't know what it is. It looks like a purple chimpanzee with a hammer in his head and his cap, and he's trying to fix the thing on YouTube. Too funny. Anyway, yeah, so I wanted to address the issue real quickly. As it comes down to James Bond, he needs to be a male. There's just no other question about it. People have been following his career, like I said, since the 60s. So it's been 63 years now. Um, there really shouldn't be any thought about changing it to a woman. And that's because, and I'm not being sexist about this. This is just hardcore reality. Okay. Until Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, the producers and the creators for now for the franchise, and of course, don't forget, Amazon took it over. So now Amazon's got a say in this. They took over the Eon Productions and everything. So now they got a say in this. So I'm hoping, against hope, that the reasonable heads that be, the ones that are in charge, continue to carry on the lineage and say, it's going to be a guy, an actor, he's going to play it. Now, I came up with an interesting premise. If you need a younger actor to play Bond, I would think that if you were to present to the public a prequel kind of deal, let's say 3 Bond films, okay? Now, what the Bond films could do is take from the point, they could just do a brief backdrop, show, where Bond lost his parents in the climbing accident. He's an orphan. They could bring, well, I don't know if they could bring back Albert Finney, as the caretaker from Skyfall, but they can bring back a younger version of that guy. And he could be the one taking care of Bond, and they could go through stuff real quick. This be like a whole flashback deal. But at the same time, he could be remembering these flashbacks as he's progressing in naval intelligence. And I'm pretty sure, now don't get me wrong, I might be totally off base here, but I do believe that according to Ian Fleming, there was a couple of missions he had done previously before he reached the Dr. No status, where he went after Dr. No, the head of Spectre. I believe there was a few missions that he accomplished. And before he was going to do this thing with Strangways and everything, uh, he was in the middle of, taking a, excuse me, he was in the casino, meaning Sylvia Trench, and he was just taking some R&R. And I like to think that. So if you could get someone that looks a little bit younger and have him do these missions that MI6 gave to him when he first started out as an agent. He was young enough to start, after through training and everything. I would think that'd be cool. I'm totally for that concept. If you could get someone younger, and what you could do is say, let's say, for example, he had 3 missions, 3 movies. There you go. So, one mission he had to do to prove his worth, a second mission he had to do, kind of in the way that Daniel did, for Casino Royale and then eventually Quantum of Solace. But in a way, this is before he even gets a chance to go up against Spectre and Dr. No. So for training purposes and for seeing how he works out in the field, let's just say that they gave him 3 different missions to do out in the field before he got to the other point. And then that way you'll know he passed his test. And, you know, if it's an actor that kind of looks like Sean Connery at an earlier age with the black hair, all that stuff, and he's a Scotsman and whatever, I'm totally for that. And I hope they can find somebody like that. And if I were the writer, I'd write it just that way. Yeah. And I think that most people would say, this is a pretty cool prequel. I think so. I think that people would appreciate it. They'd look at it and they go, yeah, that could work. Yeah. At least that's what I'm saying. It's more of a retroactive Bond back in the day before he got started. And I am pretty sure, like I said, I'm fairly sure, at least I would say probably anywhere from like 80 to 90% sure that he did do a few missions before he did Doctor No, the Doctor No mission. Yeah, because you could see that, um, M told him, but you jammed, but it jammed last mission, and you ended up in hospital. He says, I don't want my, um, you know, 007 agents to, you know, be dead, killed, or in the line of duty and things like that. I'd rather they die naturally if they're like, on a mission, things like that. And I was thinking, that one of those three missions or movies, he could have that incident and have the gun, the Beretta, because you can introduce the Beretta. You don't have to introduce the Walther PPK. You can introduce the Beretta before that if you're doing a retroactive, if you're going back to retro Bond. Yes, you can do that. That would work. And let's just say the third mission, the third movie, he gets into that jam and he ends up in the hospital. And let's just say it ends, he completes the mission, but eventually, but it will end with, realizing my gun jammed, but I still think it works and I still got it to work and I completed my mission. Let's just say he did that. But you want to show part of that time where he's in the hospital recovering, you know, from when it jammed on him. So I am all for that. If any of that can happen, that would be the best. So, so I hope I answered your question, Miss Charlotte. It has to be a man. It can't be a woman. I'm sorry. Um, that's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I'm a diehard fan of the films. I've seen every one of the films more than 5 times a piece. Um, the only one I don't own right now is the Never Say Never Again film, which really wasn't considered at one time as official Bond canon. But over the years, both Broccoli and Wilson have said, no, it is canon. It's just in an alternate, region of Connery just coming back and doing his thing in between. So I agree with them, and I think that once I get a hold of that film, and I'll have the entire collection then. Um, I think it makes sense. You need to have Bond become the next Bond to become a man, not a woman. It only makes sense. And I just, and because I can tell you, if you decide to put a female into that category in a film, now mind you, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people. There are diehard people out there. What my friend Sifdan would classify as hardcore Bond fans. I'm a hardcore Bond fan. I'm a purist. I love everything that comes with Bond, and the books. I've read the novels and everything else. Well, some of them, not all of them, but I've read some. But I got to tell you, I just will not do it. I won't go to a Bond film if it's a woman that's going to be in the role. Now, here's an exceptional rule that could occur if they decide to go with a female Bond, but they decide to do it in more of a Netflix or Paramount Plus or an Amazon Prime or any kind of way like that, maybe I might subscribe to the service just to watch it, just to see if it's gonna succeed or fail. I might do that, but I will not do it if it's going to become an actual movie, an actual film. I can't. In all my good conscience, I can't. I won't do it. I'm just saying. Yeah. It'll be hard. Yeah. Now, who knows? Maybe I just will avoid it, but then if it comes into a DVD or Blu ray, I don't know. You know, immediately, if it's a terrible movie, buy it just for the hell of it. Just say, oh, okay, watch it. Oh, okay. And then just get rid of it. Give it to somebody else. Let them have it. Yeah. I might do that. I don't know. I don't know. But again, I'm sorry. I know the chat thing over here. It says something went wrong, and I don't know why. I'm not sure why it went wrong. It went kablooey, but hopefully this worked out. So Uh, but I got 4 likes. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm sorry I can't respond to anybody. My chat window over here is complete. Like I said, it's gone. I don't know what happened. But this is just a rant. I'm just kind of, going out there, making this a JAS 14. And there's my beautiful wife in the back over there. She's saying hello. Oh, yes, I could use a couple of those. Thank you, babe. Yeah.
Killing candy canes.
Candy
yes,
canes.
We still got them.
Yep, we still have them. Thank you, babe. Yeah, see what happened? It went totally kablooey. So I can't respond to anybody. But I got 5 likes. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so all I'm going to say is just one quick prayer, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Just a prayer for everybody, that everybody's doing okay. Hopefully, all your families are doing well. I hope that you, when your kids go on their spring break, I hope that they're safe and sound, everything going well there. Um, like I said, we've got plenty of things going on. This coming Saturday, of course, the Star Wars fan film Vader's a Vader, Shards of the Past, Part 1. We'll examine that over. I've given copies so that our fellow panelists can watch it over the next couple of days, and then we can do it on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. Then all next week, as I said, Mondays will still be Red Dwarf. Tuesdays will be TOS. We'll do one episode. Um, and then we'll do TAS after that. So when we do the 79 episodes of TOS over their 3 seasons, we'll go right to TAS. Okay. And then Wednesday, of course, we start with, one of my favorite series of all time, Get Smart. And then, of course, on Thursday, A-Team. Now, what we're planning to do when A-Team is done, and I already mentioned this once before, but I'll mention it one more time. Hopefully in later in the spring, or actually more in the summer, we plan on doing mystery films. And what we'll do is maybe do an afternoon if people are available. I'll kind of gauge it. But what we're going to do is we'll take one mystery series, and we're going to start from the very beginning. One of the mystery series I really enjoyed watching was In Search of, with Leonard Nimoy, the narrator, and talking and everything. So I may just go right from episode 1 of that series, because that lasted for about 6 seasons, 6 years. So yeah, I may go ahead and go into that first. But here's the thing. With the mystery series, I'm not going to go over every single mystery. I'm just going to go over the ones that stood out to me, you know, like the Bermuda Triangle, like Loch Ness Monster, like Bigfoot, the Devil's Triangle, all of that stuff that stood out to me. There was a couple supernatural things that I was really blown away by in the early years when they were talking about this. Yes, PvP, I'm even going to go over the Lake Okanagan monster too. Yes, I will. And you're allowed to come up there if you want to talk about that. When we get to that eventually. And yeah, so I mean, we'll just take select mysteries from season 1, then season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Just 6 seasons it lasted. And then we'll go into the next one, which is Unsolved Mysteries. We'll just take random mysteries from that show or whatever is available on YouTube, and we'll talk about it. And then on a live stream. And then and then so on. So there's, above and beyond, fact or fiction. Frakes did a thing, and then there's also Ancient Aliens, coming from History Channel. So any of those mysteries, any of those documentaries that came from History Channel, we'll talk about those too. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that'll be coming up in the summer for that. So hopefully all of you can look forward to that. We do have 6 likes and we have 5 people watching. Very cool, very cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, I'm sorry I can't get to the chat because the chat window is closed for some reason. Something went wrong. So so we'll figure that out. We'll see what happens. Hopefully that won't be the case for the StreamYard when we do that on Saturday. So And Gorilla, I will be there for you for the nurse tomorrow, Friday, if you're doing Walton's stream still. I'm sorry there was no Firefly. He said no Firefly, and I was like, okay, that's fine, no worries. Um, but I did want to do this to respond to one of our fellow family members, Charlotte, and just kind of address the situation of what's going on right now in regards to James Bond. So I just want to kind of throw that out there, let you know what I've heard, what I've seen, um, and I hope they do eventually get to who they're going to do as the next Bond. I hope they do eventually, because there's just way too much speculation. Even Calvin Dyson is scared because, he's got this rumor that he said that Pierce Brosnan wanted to come back for one final turn as Bond. But what would he do? He's just too old. He can't really do stuff himself. However, if he has somebody that he's grooming to be Bond, maybe what they're showing or what they might show. Now this is just a guess. This is just my opinion. Okay, so it may not matter. Take it like a grain of salt. But what I'm thinking is if they bring Pierce back, okay, I'm just saying, he could be like an instructor for MI6 secretly, even though people may not realize he might have been Bond at one time. Maybe they don't even know. But he could be an instructor and he could be grooming the next James Bond to go ahead and go into the field and blah, 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 and still go after Spectre or go after Rami Malek's, group, that killed off Spectre and is still running things, still causing trouble all over the world. So that might be possible. Now, if that happens, I'm definitely going to go and see it. I'll go with my wife. We'll see it. Yeah, if Pierce comes back. But if he acts like I said, if he acts like an instructor and he's training a brand new Bond, being a male, has to be a male, and he trains him into the next mission and whatever goes on, that would be cool. Yeah, I would like that. And then you know what you could do? You could kill off Pierce Brosnan's character. You could do that. And it wouldn't matter because people would go like, oh yeah, okay. So he finally met his, and now you got a brand new Bond. It's gonna be out there, blah 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 blah. Blah. Yeah, sure, that could actually happen. So yeah, I wouldn't have a believe me, I wouldn't have an issue against it, being a hardcore fan. So yeah, if Calvin's correct and he thinks that Pierce might decide to just come back for one final turn, and if he has someone helping him, that would be cool. Yeah, I would like that. That'd be awesome. So we'll see what happens with that too. So that's the other rumor. But to be honest, I'd rather they get just a brand new Bond. Period. A new actor, someone who may not be as knowledgeable. You know, and this thing with Aaron Taylor Johnson, who did the two Kick-Ass movies. I don't think he's a very decent Bond. I think if you're going to get anybody, why don't you get Henry Cavill? He's old enough; he could do it. Sure. I mean, just he did Superman okay. So why don't you give him a shot at James Bond for, let's just say, for two movies, okay? Like you did with Timothy Dalton. Give Cavill a chance. See if he's going to do something. Or you know what? Like I said, I didn't have an issue, with Elba or Idris Elba. Yeah, Idris Elba, who is African American actor and whatever. I don't have an issue if he wants to become Bond and he can do it well. Hey, I'm fine with that. I'm not racist. I think he could probably do it just as well as just anybody else. If you want to bring out Tom Hiddleston, I'm just naming some of the main candidates that are still floating around out there. But Tom Hiddleston could still do it. And you know what? If you wanted Tom Holland to maybe become a younger Bond and do the retro thing, I got that covered. I could say yes to that. I can say yes to that. If he wants to do a retro thing, that'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be cool. So anyway, um, yeah, let's just go to the bottom of the half hour here. So it's going to be a very small one tonight until I figure out this problem over there. Anyway, I want to thank the 7 people that have hit the like button As always, don't forget, hit the like if you liked it tonight and the rewatch. Make sure you also subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. We are at 246. We picked up 3 more. Yay! You know, subscribers to our channel. When we get 4 more to get to 250, we will do a surprise live stream. Uncut, unedited. We'll just go ahead and put it right out there. And all I'm going to do is just come on beforehand and let you know what time it's going to be set for. And, you know, and if it's that very day, I'll just say, okay, it's going to be night or it's going to be middle afternoon or whatever. But we're going to celebrate 250 subscribers who are not only subs to our channel, but they're also considered family community members. And we're going to celebrate all of them if we get to that mark. So please help us get to 250. That would be great. Okay. Now, as for the poll, there is going to be only 3 choices. I'm going to ask you, do you want us starting with Star Trek fan films? And technically, both James Cawley's New Voyages and Vic Minona's Continues are all considered Star Trek fan films. So I'm going to ask you, what should we start with first? The next time we do a Star Trek fan film, do you want us to do the Cawley Star Trek? Do you want us to start with the James Cawley New Voyages, or you just want us to skip over it and do the Vic Mignogna Star Trek Continues? Or the third choice is, do you want us to maybe start doing the last choice would be, do you want us to do the animated series? There's only 22 episodes of that, and we can always do a review of 2 at a time in a live stream. So, yeah, so those will be the 3. So I'll ask, do you want us to do TAS? Do you want us to do James Cawley, New Voyages? Or do you want us to do Vic Mignogna's Continues? So, or I'll just say TAS, New Voyages, or Continues. I think that's better. I think I'll just go with that as a poll choices. And then finally, the last choice would be neither. And you just want us to do something else involving Star Trek fan films. We can do that too. There are plenty of them out there. So, yeah. I could probably just say other, maybe. Other fan films. Yeah, something like that. So, but yeah, I need to put that poll together tonight. So I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done here. Okay, so we got 7 likes. We got 4 people watching. Thank you very much, so much for being here. Again, I really apologize about the chat not working. I'm sorry. Maybe next time, hopefully, it will be up and running. But in the meantime, take care, everyone. As we always say, uh, with Gene Siskel saying, and now the aisle is closed. So thank you, everyone, for that. My wife always says, leave it in God's hands. Larry, my best friend, who is Be Yourself Adventures, says, always be yourself. And of course, I always say for our channel, always expect the unexpected, everyone or everybody. And then, of course, peace from MikeySuzeFour, and much love from my wife Suzanne and our beautiful cats Moon Pie and Deja Vu. So until the next time we see you, which will be this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern for the Star Wars fan film, take care, be safe out there, and remember, God bless America, God bless Canada, God bless the entire freaking world, and peace from MikeySuzeFour. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I know.